Perception is reality. And if you're anything like me, you might be up for a little bit of a shift in reality just about now. Not that I'm complaining. My last reinvention in early 2024 got me a solid morning routine, daily workouts, a stronger sense of self, and monetization on YouTube. However, it is becoming increasingly obvious to me, to the point where I can't ignore it anymore, that I need a new reinvention in order to get further. So get in looser, let's shed our old identities and get aligned with our higher selves. To get aligned, we first need to dive into one of my favorite subjects, vibes. You can call it frequency, you can call it mindset, you can call it goal setting, you can call it whatever you want. I love all of the above, but I'm going to talk about vibes. And vibes do include goals. What are you going after? What is the goal of this reinvention? I'm assuming that if you are reinventing yourself, it's because there's something in your life that you want, that you feel like you have to sort of shift to get. And within here, of course, we have habits. And for that, I think a really good thing to do is not just like list habits, but actually do a little bit of scripting. Like, what does a day in your life, what does a morning in your life, a weekend in your life look like as that new person that you are becoming? The reinvented version of yourself. How does that person wake up? What's the first thing they do? How do they go about their day? How do they process hard things that happen? Just a gorgeous, dreamy day in your life. That is something that I like to do to get aligned, and also obviously to motivate myself to work hard to have that life. Under here, of course, also daydreaming, which if I'm not talking to anyone or working, just assume that I am daydreaming, and also manifestation in general. However, my probably favorite method ever for starting a new year, having a birthday, shifting my mindset, reinventing myself, reimagining myself, rebranding myself is Pinterest. I talk about Pinterest all the time, and I saw this meme on Pinterest that sort of summed up why. It was this photo of this 2000s girl, and it was like me opening up Pinterest like it's the daily newspaper. That is how I feel. I try to not do the whole like social media brain rot thing, and I like don't have TikTok. I don't really use Instagram for different reasons that I've talked about before. However, Pinterest is so essential for me. I feel like it's like for Reddit for other people with fandoms and stuff. And I have, for my rebranding, I have this PowerPoint that I've created with I think like 10 different slides for like health, family, food, etc., like career, you know, where all of the photos on a PowerPoint is just literally collages from Pinterest. And that is the true lifeblood. That is what really keeps me going. I think Pinterest actually has an algorithm that is a lot closer for each person than the other social media apps are. So I think you know what I'm saying when I say that on Pinterest, I get all of these heroes throughout history and political heroes, but I also get these quotes from Kafka and Nietzsche. And then on the other hand, I get these Bratz memes for women that show us like mood, CEO. And then I'll get like the quote we'll talk about later that is in the thumbnail for this video. All of these motivating quotes, they're saying like, girl, do it for you, or like, oh, here's a financial tip. Pinterest is just so full of motivation and inspiration and knowledge, and it's basically everything I stand for, to be honest. So I would absolutely advise you to create like a PowerPoint, a mood board, a Pinterest collage, a Pinterest board. I love Pinterest boards, and just really, really get into the vibe and the looks and the mindset first and foremost of the person that you're reinventing yourself to be. None of the steps moving forward will make any sense unless you clearly can envision the type of person you want to be. On this step, everything I mentioned is optional, but you basically got to do something. On the list of things I will never shut up about is purging your belongings. I'm obsessed with this partially because I found my like childhood blog from 2017 where I saw that one of my goals was to purge 70% of my belongings, a very lofty goal for the shopaholic that was me. However, years later, I did exactly that without even knowing that that was a goal I had stated years before. And reinvention was a huge part of that because I didn't want to be the type of person that was tied down by my belongings. I felt trapped in a way day. It felt like I was in this quicksand of my belongings.
Oh my God, it's up to my mouth.
Where I sort of used all of that stuff as an excuse to be messy and to stay put and to torture myself. And so much of what we have doesn't reflect who we want to be. And if it reflects our old identities that we don't want, then that is literally holding us back, because we see this physical reality every single day. And rather than being controlled by a physical reality, we should control our physical reality in order to control our mental reality. So when I'm saying like purge your stuff, I don't mean like, hey, throw out all of your kitchen appliances and buy pink appliances. Sounds a little bit like a dream, not gonna lie. However, it's not gonna fix your life. Don't get rid of your scissors. Don't get rid of your old shampoo bottles because you want to switch brands and be this new person who has this brand. Use what you have, but out of all that like clutter you have, I'm sort of like, if something doesn't have any value, if I don't use something and it also isn't nostalgic even, why do I have it? So basically any useless clutter that is just a part of something that has nothing to do with you or who you want to be, get rid of it. A, because it's reminding you of a reality that you don't even want. B, it's clutter, it's bad, it's collecting dust and all of that. And as everyone says, the cost of your new identity is your old one. It's sort of like a snake shedding their skin. They shed their skin because that skin just isn't serving them anymore. And if you have things lying around that don't serve you, what does that say about you? I think that keeping things around because you might use them at some point is this scarcity mindset, and it's sort of like a scaredy cat mindset too. And I was just thinking at some point, like, I don't want to walk around and be this scaredy cat. Once you have gotten rid of the stuff you don't need, like the t-shirts with holes in, the half-written notebooks, and souvenirs that didn't really mean that much, once you've gotten rid of all of that, you can see more clearly what you do have. Start dressing differently, start styling yourself differently, start putting out different items on your shelves and reworking the spaces you live in without necessarily buying new things, but just using what you have in a different way. I have the same makeup palettes that I've had for years, and for years I've done so many different looks with them. You don't necessarily need to go out and buy new clothes and new makeup and new photos and new art for your room just yet. First and foremost, you have to see, okay, my new identity, what would they do with this? With what we have right here. I don't think you can make truly informed decisions on what you do need to buy until you know what you do with what you have. And I also don't want you to fall into the trap where you think that you can buy yourself to a reinvention, because a reinvention, although it works on the physical plane, it is first and foremost a shift in mindset. You have to become the person you are buying for before you buy. You can't buy yourself to that person. Getting rid of clutter around us is a great start, but we also have to go deeper and honestly, sadly, cut some ties. Most of us have people in our lives that for some reason just aren't serving us and who we want to become. Whether they are toxic and cruel.
I can't even talk to you anymore. Standing up for yourself. Standing up for it.
Or they are frankly just holding us back in some form. For example, if you're trying to cut down on drinking and you have friends that all they want to do is drink, well, that's a problem. Or if you're really into learning and evolving and your friends are always like, come on, let's just go and chill and watch this and turn off our brains. People who are just not aligned with you at all, better to cut them out so that you can free up your time and free up your mental space and also focus on what you truly care about, not what people around you want you to care about. You have to say no to certain ties and free up that space in order to be able to say yes to some really, really positive things. So go out and meet new people who are aligned with you. Maybe you want to join a running club or a D&D campaign, or take some classes, go to summer school, meet people who are interested in the same subjects as you, or join a book club. Whatever it is so great to be able to form new ties with people who are aligned with what we are are trying to accomplish in this world. And because I know that a lot of you might be in a similar situation to me where you're feeling a little stuck in a small town, I will say that sometimes you aren't necessarily surrounded by people who you feel aligned with in that way. And what can really, really help, and that has helped me stay sane and on track and feel like you're not crazy for being a little different, is just listening to audiobooks, watching YouTube videos, and
welcome to Sad Boys, a podcast about feelings and other things also.
Listen to podcasts and consuming content of people who are occupying the spaces you want to be in and who do have the same mindset and who inspire you. People influence you whether or not you're in the room with them physically. If you're listening to the thoughts of people who inspire you and who are aligned with the person you want to be, then that does have a huge impact on your mindset and your perspectives. As I said earlier, I did put a Pinterest quote on this thumbnail. I am obsessed with Pinterest and I see awesome quotes like these every day. And this one just happened to align so perfectly with this point. Old ways won't open new doors. If you want something new, you gotta do something new. You are reinventing yourself. Try new things, make bold choices, and try not to worry so much. If you want to do something, there's a reason why you want to do it. Something inside of you is telling you that you really want to do that thing. And we regret the things we don't do, not the things we do. Obviously, sometimes we fall flat on our faces, but in other times we fly and catapult and come to places you never even dreamt of. But you have to try, and you owe to yourself to try. So whatever it is that you really want to do
it!
And the whole thought of, oh, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not young enough, I'm not old enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, is bullshit. If there's something you want to do that you can physically and mentally do, and the only thing that is sort of holding you back is your own thoughts and what you think other people think, then that is just not a good enough reason to not try and do something awesome for yourself. We put all of these little caveats and all of these things that are just such bullshit because they're just created by our own minds. If you want to be a stylist, if you want to be an actor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to date that guy, if you want to date that girl, if you want to wear this, if you want to wear that, if you want to cut your hair short, do it. Because you'll regret not doing it. And what if someone judges you? People are judging you right now. Plus, it doesn't really matter. And also, like Jim Carrey says, it is so much better to fail at something that you want to do than something that you don't want to do. What we want to do is bridge the gap between who we are right now, or who we appear to be right now, and who we want to be. To do this, obviously, you have to make the right choices. So instead of thinking, oh, I'm in this situation, what do I do? What would I do yesterday? What would I do a week before? Think, what would I do in 3 months? The ideal me that I want to be in 3 months. Who we pretend to be, we are. If you identify as unhealthy and you make unhealthy choices, you'll be unhealthy. If you pretend to be healthy by doing what you think you do in 3 months, well, whilst pretending to be healthy, you are actually being healthy. Make decisions based on this person, not that person, and they are both in a way you, but choose to be this one. Keep pretending that you are this and that and the other thing until it actually works out and you just fully feel that way and make those decisions without even thinking. And that obviously is very habits related, and I am assuming that you, with your reinvention, like with me, are trying to be more healthy. So definitely check out my video, 10 healthy habits that have changed my life, where we talk not only about the habits themselves, but also how I've been able to implement them. And if you're in need of a little confidence boost for this reinvention, which I fully get and sort of relate to, watch my last video on how to gain instant confidence. That being said, please let me know how you are reinventing yourself this season. I would love to hear it. I would love if you kept me updated as well. Take care. Good luck. See you later.